Okay, we're down at the shop today. Just gonna do a real quick video prepping for windrock. Just loaded the RZR into the toy hauler. I'm gonna show you what I did to get it to fit and kind of show you what I do for prep. May help some folks out. I'm gonna show you what I use. No sponsorships, no paid anything. This is what I actually use to get ready to make a trip in the toy hauler. So this will be the first trip this year in the camper. Kind of a damper last year with COVID and everything, so I'm pretty excited about getting to it this year. We're going to get to it, and I'll show you how I fit this thing in the toy hauler. Okay, so this is it in the toy hauler. As you can see, I've got plenty of room now. What I was concerned about is that UHF antenna. The one that I installed right there was a pointy one, just a regular antenna. This is a Larson UHF antenna, which is compatible with General Mobile Radio Service, which is hooked up to the Midland. It'll also work with any other UHF, but you can see that thing's like it's really not any taller than the fold-ups on the roof. So that gave me plenty of room, and you may be asking, well, you've got plenty of room there. Well, keep in mind, when this RZR is going down the road, it's going to go up and down several inches. It still may actually come up to that bed height. They're pretty close to it, but I'm going to put a limit strap to one of the tie downs to prevent it from doing that. We'll see kind of how it goes. But as you can see, I've got plenty of room behind. This is a Puma Unleashed 373 QSI, I think. Plenty of room. Wanted to keep that winch fair lead as far away from that glass door as I could. But I've got plenty of room in here. I think a little bit better shot of that antenna. If you're wondering, so I don't really have a good spot necessarily to capture these tires. I really don't worry about it a lot with shock therapy. I worried about it when I had the old 1000 with the old tender springs. So I will actually leave this like this until the day that I leave, and I'll strap it down, and I'll be strapping the points on here. These have through bolts that go all the way through the frame, and that should hold the RZR in this position, and I'll be able to limit strap it to that so that it won't come up too far and catch my beds. But that worked well on the last RZR. Should work well on this one. This one does come back significantly farther, but I was able to get it past the dovetail. So if you've got one of these trailers or trailers similar to this that has the same garage specs, this Pro XP will fit without any issues. You've actually probably got enough room to walk all the way around the thing with the door shut. So kind of cool. Now I'm going to show you what I've been working on the camper. All right, so initial wash, basically I used the same stuff, Mr. Pink. I think that's Chemical Brothers, just to wash the RZR. As you can see, there's still a bunch of black streaks. I still use the Biochem. I have a previous video on that. I'll try to put a card. Apologize for the wind. And what I use, because that black streak remover works. Like, I'm gonna have to go up on the ladder and do a wipe or two at each little place there's a black streak, but it pretty much instantaneously takes it off. What I've been working on is the roof. What I used this time, which worked really well, Simple Green, and then I went back over it with Best Cleaner UV Protectant, and that's kept my roof in really good shape. This is a 2017, and the roof's still in really, really good shape. I did have to end up putting a little bit of sealant, which I've already done that once, and I ran out, so I had to order 2 more boxes, 4 tubes a piece of the sealant to catch this vent that's here in the, the sealant kind of started cracking around. I don't have any leaks, but it will start leaking if I don't take care of it. So I'm gonna wait on that, and right before the trip, I'm gonna climb up there again, seal that off real good with that Dicor sealant. If you haven't ever messed with that stuff, it's really easy to do. Basically, it's a lap sealant, so basically you kind of make circles. You can either start on the outside or start on the inside, or you can either start on the inside or do the outside first, work your way in or out, and it'll naturally form to the roof and to whatever penetrates it. So greasy things, typically I've been using Super Clean wheel cleaner on these. That works really good. And I actually use the Super Clean concentrate with a pretty heavy mix to like clean out where the grease, if you put grease in these, inevitably when you go down the road, a little bit of the grease is going to come out, because these are through hole grease. So basically you pump grease in, it's sending it through the whole assembly and then back out. You can almost replace the grease rather than having to pull them out and repack them. But that kind of makes a mess. I'll go over here on the other trailer and show you what that looks like. So this is kind of going to be an example. I have not cleaned this yet, but I will. You can kind of see there what kind of a mess that grease makes. It kind of pops out a little bit. And what I found cleans out the best, you can use the Super Clean wheel cleaner, but for the real greasy stuff, this works really well. It's probably the most economical thing that I've found to clean up something really greasy. I use it all the time on the excavator. This side, I think last time it was close enough to the pressure washer where I did this, so probably sometime last year I gave that a good cleaning. Okay, so for basically the truck and the camper, the final thing that I do is this Mr. Pink. That's probably the best wash that I've ever used. The wax stays on a really long time. And it does work in my foamer, which is right there. That I'll try to find that and put a link for it. I really like that foamer. It's compact, it's easy to use, and then you can change the spray angles really easy on it. This is the simple green that I use to clean the roof with. The black streak remover, this is probably, I got these at Lowe's. You can pick these up at Amazon as well. But basically what you're wanting is like a white terry cloth, because these get dirty with that black streak remover, you need to replace the towel, because once that dirt gets embedded in this, it doesn't clean it off as well. So what you'll realize is it'll stop rubbing off, and what you want to do at that point is replace your towel. To do the front cap, which I've always had issues, I've used Polyglow's system, which is basically, I think this is going to be real similar to like Zep, like an acrylic floor polish, but it works really good on the cap. You know, this camper is getting a little older, and it does have one of the caps. Apologize for the wind again. It does have one of the caps that didn't have a lot of UV protectant, so you can kind of see here some fading, but you can see the sun shining now, and that's just because I really quickly polished it, cleaned it, and that does a good job of getting it as close as you can get it back to new. Now here, where the sun hasn't really hit it, it's basically like new condition, really shiny. And this has got dirt on it, as you can see from when I washed the roof. So if you've never done a camper before, the first thing you want to start with is the roof. And the reason you want to start with the roof, everything that comes off the roof is going to go down the side of the camper. So you want to do the roof first. Again, I do recommend the best RV UV protectant and cleaner. Sometimes during the year, I will just use that. Usually at the start of the year, I'll either use Tide or Simple Green to actually scrub the roof with a brush, get everything cleaned up. It's a good time to check your seals. Like I said, my seals, so that's the lap sealing around the top of the roof. I've got another video on that. I pretty much did the antenna as soon as I bought the camper, and it's now laid down. You can't see it, but there's an antenna somewhere about right in there that's laid back like this. But there's a lot of penetrations in this camper, and you got to keep them up. So this time I'm just going through and doing them all. One thing I wanted to mention too, so I've used bleach white for the actual tire, but I found that Super Clean does just about as good, and you can kind of do it in one application. You basically can do Super Clean concentrate on the tire, Super Clean wheel cleaner on the wheels, and just do a little light scrub on it with a tire brush, and they'll look brand new. Okay, So that's kind of what kind of prep I do each year to get to Windrock and all the other parks that we actually take the camper to. This year, it's gonna be with a new Pro XP. Really happy to see it actually in here and fit. You know, as much as you measure, you never really can tell. I know that I have the clearance if I needed it. I'm probably gonna go to 32-inch tires. So I'll have the clearance that I need to get those tires on here. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.